What's going on, everybody? It's Sports Bricks back in the action once again, and welcome to episode 4 of Building This MOC. Now, there's not going to be a ton of building this episode to my knowledge, because I don't have anything really to be building as of yet. So today's going to be like a minor kind of like tweaking, detailing, and kind of like preparation video. It won't nearly be as exciting as the last one where we got quite a bit done. The beach is pretty much all done. We're going to detail that up a little bit, as well as we got the water pretty much all done. I don't really have much details to put as of now, but there was a comment back on my second episode about like adding like water disruption lines, and I want to get to that at some point, but I don't have the pieces for it, nor have an idea of how I want to do that quite yet. Still, I think we can get some pretty good things done, and we'll see where we take it. So like I said, detailing for sure, preparation, and I ordered some Clone Army Customs and Jonak Toys pieces and figures. So if they come by the time I'm about to upload this video, I'll show those off at the end. So let's just get into it. So, as you can see, the second gunship has been officially built. This gunship is going to remain exactly where it is pretty much, and I think I like this layout of these 4 troopers, so I think I might leave them here. We have one guy that already jumped out into the water. He's about halfway in the kind of like deeper water. We have a guy jumping out to join his homie, as well as a guy kind of commanding them, and another guy about to rush out. Kind of like how like the U.S. Air Force like deploys paratroopers. There's the guy at the front of the back of the plane, and everyone's just kind of like rushing to jump out. Along with that, I think in episode either 1 or 2, I can't remember which one it was, but I talked about the pilots. I have those ordered. I got a couple shock trooper pilot helmets from Clone Army Customs, as well as some official pad. I can't remember if it's pad printed or the other printed, but there's going to be some printed pilot bodies. Essentially, it's going to be a shock trooper pilot helmet that's off like the phase 2 kind of design that we saw in the Z95 Headhunter on a Camino like security body. It sounds goofy right now, but they didn't have any of the shock trooper bodies, and I think it's going to look pretty good. I didn't want it to be like overly red in the cockpit area, plus the pilots having a little bit of gray on them could like signify that they're like not the actual troopers like how these guys are. Have 4 total of those for both of the gunships, as well as a few other figures. I ordered a couple of the Clone Trooper Heavy, like from Battlefront, like the Rocket Trooper guy. I ordered a couple of them from Clone Army Customs in the Shock Trooper like printing, as well as a Battlefront 2 Officer Shock Trooper. I think it'd be cool to like have a commander kind of like leading that like force, where I have this in the storyline. Commander Thorn is dead, and Commander Fox is going to be on Coruscant, so I couldn't have either of them 2 on there, but I still wanted to have a leader. Plus, I just think Clone Army Customs are like really good figures. I have quite a few of the 501st, but nothing in the Shock Troopers, so I just think it'd be cool to have some on here. Also, speaking of the minifigures, I think I have close to a final roster of like numbers of what I'm looking for this MOC. And they're going to be right here. We're going to have roughly about 45, I believe, normal shock troopers with, I think, 6 or 7, I can't remember the exact total, of like custom clones, rounding it just above 50. On top of all these battle droids, 30 B2s, 30 B1s, as well as this commander with kind of like a security force right here, 4 of the Kashyyyk battle droids and 2 of the security ones, and then a pilot. That one's going to be going right there. I want this to be fairly chaotic, so there are going to be a lot of minifigures on this fairly small-ish kind of MOC, but I think it's going to look really cool because this is, like I said, D-Day, and I want it to represent the like chaotic battle that happened. Tons of clones, tons of droids, lots of casualties, just to depict like what happened, but like with a Star Wars twist. And another thing you might have seen, they're all holding like custom blasters. So I'm thinking that both sides are going to have custom blasters just to give it that real Star Wars feel. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the Lego blaster, but you can't really compare to the DC-15A with the normal blaster. And you have so much more variety. Rocket launchers, miniguns, DC-15s, DC-15As, Then the pistols, everything. You can add so much to the MOC with just custom blasters alone. Not only that, but the clones and the droids have different blasters, but if I used all the Lego blasters, the only thing I can really signify the difference is the colors, because these guys are getting a lot of gunmetal gray kind of blasters lately, but they're the same thing still. So these guys getting the DC-15 series, as well as rocket launchers, all that stuff. And these guys getting the droid blasters from Brick Tactical. I'm gonna have to make an order here soon. And just to make sure I can make this thing look mangled, I'm gonna be using pieces from like the spare battle packs that we've been getting. Since it does come with quite a few different like Republic colors, I am going to work on this quick. After some time kind of like tinkering with the gunship, this is kind of what I came up with. And by no means is this finished, but I think it gives an accurate representation of what I'm going for. So essentially the AAT right over there is going to be blowing up the gunship. The doors were closed, and it just kind of like took a direct center shot, blew off both of the wingtips as well as destroyed the doors. And I thought this would be kind of like an unfortunate but kind of funny like storytelling moment where you see in the Clone Wars a couple times where the gunship is crashing and the guy's like holding on just like this. Like I said, by no means is this completed. I want to just make it like a little bit burnt, charred up. I'm gonna have some smoke bellowing out of this engine as well as some fire coming off the gunship, but I don't have those pieces right now, and I want to just kind of like tinker with it. And that's what it looks like in the MOC as of now. Like I said, this is not going to be even close to done, and I want to kind of pitch it forward a little bit, like it just got shot down, and it's going directly for the beach. I know we're kind of moving a little fast, but I did indeed get that crater implemented into it, and it does look really cool. It just looks really chaotic and just like you just got a bomb dropped right there. And it does give a little bit of like cover for the advancing clones. You can tell that they do stick out a tiny bit, but it's a lot better than just being in an open field like this. Well, not field, but beach. I think it looks cool. You can have like 1 or 2 troops hanging in here. 2 would be pushing it, but 1 would look really nice. Or you could have a guy trying to jump in, or a guy that's getting blasted when he's trying to shoot back. And I tweaked a bit of the beach design. I didn't like how it looked fairly diagonal, so I added a little bit of like a wave over here, and I might tweak this side a little bit in the future as well.
So essentially the lore behind this build, and I've been talking to people in the comments, they're like, you should do this, you should do that, and I want to establish some lore because I wanted to build kind of like a Republic base, but I wanted to have the Republic attacking. So the lore behind this is the beginning stages of the base on Scarif with the Citadel, and the Republic is setting up kind of like a perimeter defense on this beach, and the battle droids caught wind, and like a droid general caught wind of this base being built. So against Palpatine's orders, they went to attack this base, where, as you know, there's a lot of sensitive information at the base on Scarif. So the battle droids took this position, and during the Battle of Coruscant, the Chancellor couldn't enact it, but Mas Amida essentially was like, hey, we have to go retake this base. So he sent a very like elite Coruscant Guard unit, and that's why I also picked the Coruscant Guard. So I might add a bunch of extra destroyed battle droids from the 60 that I already have, as well as just a few standard white clone troopers that came in the battle pack. And I might have those as like extra casualties to signify that there was a battle before. And that's why I was saying like the lore behind what I'm looking for. Thorn would be dead, and Fox is going to be on Coruscant because I think he takes part in the battle. Also, I do have to give some shout outs to a couple builders. I know one of the names, and I don't know the other one. I took a lot of inspiration from this Normandy bunker right here from Brick Mania. If you look at all the German bunkers along the Atlantic Wall, they're going to be fairly flat, very dull. It's just essentially a bunch of slabs of concrete all mishmashed together. And that's exactly what this is, but I really wanted to Star Warsify it up just like that. And this, I don't know who built this one. It says Mocopolis. I don't know if that's going to be a person or if that's going to be just like an event this was brought to or like an event built for. But this is going to be what I inspired this kind of design off of as well.
There are some basic beach details that I got done. These aren't going to be final. I want to kind of spruce it up a little bit more, but I just wanted to get a rough outline of where I'm trying to go with this. There's a bunch of mounds of sand just scattered about, and then I'm going to put a little bit more finer details in between. I just had to keep in mind that there's going to be some kind of defensive perimeters right here with the super battle droids and the spider droids. We got a little bit more progress done, especially on the sand region and just kind of mocking up some of the little minifigures. We got some sand detail in there, some of the like rocks and pebbles, and we got some like boulders going on. I wanted to kind of emulate what I did here, but not as chaotic and not as colorful because it's just going to be like a little bit of rocks, few little like lumps of sand, stuff like that. Few boulders, I mean. And then we also mocked up some of the figures. And looking at it from this perspective, this is actually looking really sweet. And you're probably wondering why the gunship is sitting down. And I also worked on it a little bit. That actually looks a lot better than what I had. I had a little bit of an accident. I knocked it over and it got obliterated. So I said, nope, that's going there now. And that's probably all that's going to be done this episode. Like I said, that's going to be all that I'm going to be able to do this time. I'm going to leave it off there. Hopefully some of the packages gets here soon containing the parts and the minifigures coming in. But if you like the episode, please leave a like as well as hopefully subscribe. We just passed 400 subscribers. Thank you so much. On the road to 500. But this has been Boards Brick signing out again. Stay cool, stay awesome, and see you in the next one. Peace.